Cyberpunk 2077 is a role-playing game, and with that type of genre, there are a number of different choices that you can make which shapes the path for your character, which includes full character customization and life paths. So this video, I am going to do a breakdown of the life paths in Cyberpunk 2077 and what effect they have on you and the rest of the game. Before I get into this video, please make sure to leave a comment, like this video, and subscribe to Kleptogeist. When this game is finally released on December 10th, I plan on playing it pretty much every day and making a lot of videos, so I hope you enjoy this video. CD Projekt Red have provided 3 different life paths for V: Nomad, Street Kid, and Corporate. Each of these offer 3 distinct introductions to the world of Cyberpunk and have a lasting effect on V for the rest of the game. Introductions are incredibly important. This is where you'll see V in action and also V's backstory for the first time. This is also where you'll meet Jackie Wells, get an introduction to the game with the story, as well as learn the game mechanics. And with 3 different life paths, there are 3 different ways in which you will do it. Let's start off with Street Kid. The Street Kid path starts players at El Coyote Coho in Haywood. After being brought up on the streets, this version of V is streetwise and aware of the gangs, fixes, and undesirables of Night City. In other words, V understands how hard it is to survive on the streets. V is given a job within this life path, a job to go steal one of the high-end cars in a corporate garage. As V gets to this location and gets in the car, and just as he starts the vehicle up, the doors open and a gun is pointing in his face. This is Jackie Wells, and Jackie Wells was also assigned to stealing the exact same car. And after some heated dialogue, the Night City police end up showing up to arrest them both. Jackie is already well known by the law and begins to negotiate and have a conversation with the police. During this conversation, the actual owner of the car shows up to the garage and ends up being a very powerful corporate man. And he suggests, instead of the officers actually arresting Jackie and V, to take them instead to the docks and drown them. The Night City police officer is persuaded. However, Jackie and V somehow get away and end up bonding over the situation. Next up, we have Nomad. Starting as a nomad, players will find themselves on the outskirts of Night City in a zone called the Badlands. Nomads are outsiders that are free to do what they wish, but they're also quite handy when it comes to vehicle and vehicle maintenance. With this life path, V has left his family behind and wants to go into Night City. To do this, V needs to meet up with someone that can smuggle him into Night City, and this person is Jackie Wells. V meets up with Jackie, and Jackie takes V and also some contraband across the border. Arasaka officers end up pulling them over, and this ends up in a high-speed chase. Jackie and V end up taking out the Arasaka officers and successfully get away. Finally, we have Corporate. Corporate players will find themselves already within the city center. Being a corporate means you'll do anything to win, even if it means screwing over the little guy. You want to be one of the winners in the high-fly, shady world of the Night City corporations. With this life path, V is tasked from his boss Jenkins to take out the competition. V goes to the underworld where they meet their best friend, Jackie Wells. So in the previous life paths, you need to meet Jackie, but in the corporate life path, you already know Jackie and been friends with him for a long time. While V and Jackie are planning how to take out the competition, they get caught, and V is stripped of every single benefit he has with Arasaka. Jackie feels sorry for his best friend, so decides to take him under his arm to show him the way in the life of being a mercenary. Each of the 3 life paths start off completely different, but do end up with V becoming a mercenary. And even though these narratives eventually do come together at the end, they do have everlasting effects on V throughout the whole game. We still don't know every single effect they'll have on you and have to wait till the game's release. However, examples that have been given is the knowledge that V would have from these life paths, and this would unlock different dialogue options. For example, as a street kid, you would understand the streets more than if someone came in through Nomad or if someone was in corporate, which means you would have a better understanding of the gangs within Night City and know how to talk to them when dealing with them. So when encountering gangs, You'll have additional dialogue options that will give you a better deal if you're trying to negotiate, or a better understanding of what you need to do for a specific type of mission. Whereas corporate will not have the understanding of the games, but he'll have knowledge elsewhere. For example, corporate V is talking to other corporates. With other corporates, V should be able to leverage the conversation, should be able to negotiate, or even get a better understanding of the mission, where Street Kid V would not be able to do that with the corporates. It all really depends on your playstyle and how you want to play the game. So if you actually do want to be dealing with the top dogs of Night City or the mega corporations, it's probably a good idea to go for corporate. If you want to be on the streets, dealing with different types of gangs or going to different types of gangs within the city, it makes sense for you to go Street Kid, because you'll get more content that is enjoyable to you. Let's say you don't want to actually be in Night City, but actually want to be in the Badlands or the outskirts, dealing with cars and racing, then Nomad would definitely be the best option for you. Gameplay is by far the most important thing, so I would use the gameplay that you want to be a part of, so that you can actually make your decision in which life path you want to go for. There are some additional benefits. It can come down to the way that you want your character to look. You do get to customize your character's appearance at the beginning of the game, and when you do pick a life path, there will be a set items of clothing that suits V's life path that you chose. However, you are not stuck with the appearance of your character and the life path you chose. This is a role-playing game, and just because you chose Corporate V doesn't mean you are stuck looking that part throughout the game. Likewise, just because you choose Nomad or Street Kid doesn't mean that you can't upgrade yourself later in the game to look something more like a corporate. So it's really up to you and how you want to play. So if you want to almost role-play that you are on the bottom of the bottom as a Street Kid or a Nomad, and eventually work your way up to being highly successful and wearing very nice stylish clothes like a corporate, you can do that. Really, in a role-playing game, the combinations are endless. So please leave a comment on what life path you guys think you're going to choose when the game is finally released. Please like this video, and don't forget to subscribe to Kleptogeist. Thank you for watching.